Hi, my name is Haley Piccini. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to do what I could to share with you the information I've found over the last several years that might help you if you struggle with wine problems. That means wine headaches, hangovers, facial flushing. Any of those side effects can be really disheartening when you're trying to just enjoy a special occasion with a glass of wine. And I know this personally because I have really struggled with it to the point where I wasn't drinking wine for the last couple of years. But I have finally found a concoction of things that you can add to your routine that might help you have a better time with the wines that you are drinking. Now, I'm just going to say that I'm not a doctor. I've worked with a lot of doctors, but I can't claim any of these as medical advice. You still need to meet with your regular doctors and make sure that you have the appropriate heads up with them about all the things that you're trying. So first I'm going to talk about clean crafted wine. At a high level, a lot of the wines that we drink these days have tons of additives in them that are FDA approved, but people just don't tolerate like they think they should. This is a good picture that gives the difference between clean crafted wine and mass-produced wine. You can see that there's all these different chemicals that are added to mass-produced wine that are not in clean crafted. And the reason for that is that many of the wines that we drink today are made by 3 major wine producers. So they have a lot at stake, and they're willing to add products that will help make their wines safer, longer shelf life, more predictable for their customers. So just be aware that wines don't have to put much on their labels, and there's a reason for that. There's a lot of lobbying that happens that keeps that the way that it is. You don't know if there's added sugars or any of the chemicals I showed you before, unless somebody says, we certify that those are not in our wines. And that is what Scout and Cellar does. So they have this seal of approval, and this shows that the wine that's in this bottle, the batch has been tested in 2 different labs to confirm that the additives, chemicals, pesticides, preservatives that are typically in mass-produced wines you're not going to find in our wines. I have really changed my ability to tolerate wine by switching to clean crafted, and as such I sell it because I'm so just encouraged, and I hope that it can encourage other people to come back to wine. But if that alone doesn't take care of your symptoms, which is possible, there are a couple of other culprits that people talk about. 1 is tannins, 2 is sulfites, 3 is histamines. And what I'm going to really take kind of line by line is that some of them just have too many misunderstandings about them. So tannins, some people think they're allergic to tannins. I don't know if you realize this, but tannins are not just in wines. In fact, tannins are in teas, berries, chocolate, nuts. And so you're already interacting with tannins on a daily basis, so you may not actually have a reaction to tannins. Same with sulfites. So sulfites are one of the things that does need to be listed on the label. Sulfites are naturally occurring in wines. In some cases, the companies will add sulfites in order to keep it from turning into vinegar. But outside of that, sulfites are also in dried fruits, molasses, sauerkraut. So again, it's another thing where we don't think about it in these other products, but they're there. And because they're there, you're probably not having as much of a reaction to sulfites as you might think you are. For histamines, though, histamines are a little difficult because they're also in a lot of things that we experience, mostly aged items. So not just wine, but vinegars or beers or leftovers, sausages, cheeses. And that's probably one of the more common culprits when it comes to side effects that may not be taken care of by drinking clean crafted wine. So a couple of the things that I have learned over time in terms of histamine support, there are several different things you can do proactively. There are things that you can do while drinking, and there are things that you can do after to make sure that you set yourself up for success. This is what I have found has been successful for me, and I don't usually use all of these products. I just use them as I see fit depending on how I'm feeling prior to having a glass. So one thing is that you can take a normal antihistamine. There are 2 different kinds of antihistamines. One is the Benadryl, that's an H1 blocker, and the second is Zantac, which is ranitidine as a generic, but this is an H2 blocker, so that changes things like the gastric acid in your stomach. But both of those are effective on histamine reactions. So also for people who have mast cell activation syndrome, they might have an overreaction to things like histamines. They can take those in advance or after drinking, carefully of course, to help offset some of the histamines that are naturally going to be in wines because it's an aged product. The second thing is some people are not histamine intolerant, but their bodies don't actually make what's called diamine oxidase. And diamine oxidase, DAO, it's like a hormone in your body that helps break down histamines once you are consuming something with histamines. That's me. So you can actually take a genetic test to figure out if you're histamine intolerant or you don't make enough DAO, and I'm in that camp. But the good news is about that is you can actually take DAO supplements. So I take this one. It's by Neurobiologics, GI Hist Support. And actually there's another one, this Methyl Genetic Nutrition, ABP1 Assist. These are both products that have DAO in them and can help with your body's reaction when you don't have what you need to break down the histamines that you're putting in it. So I'm going to link to these in the comments or in the description below so you can find them. Another thing you can do is Restore. If you have gut sensitivity when you drink alcohol, like I do, I have IBS. Sometimes it's because you have leaky gut, and Restore has been one of the best products I've used to improve my gut integrity for the tight junctions. I take just a small amount of this. This looks giant, but there are also small bottles too. And it has really helped, especially for IBS-D. So this can offset some of your reaction if your body tends toward gut sensitivity. And then I guess also for histamines as well, you can use this product. It's called the Wand. So this box is full of a bunch of these little guys, and you can put this in a briefcase or your purse. This is kind of nice to have on hand when you know you can't have any access to clean crafted wine. It doesn't do the full job, so just be aware you'll probably still have side effects because, again, most wines, the reaction you're having is not to the histamines and sulfites, it's to the additional additives in the wine. But just in case, you can always hedge your bets a little bit. And so this is, they say that it takes up to 95% of histamines and sulfites out of the wine while you're drinking it. So if you want to try this, this is also a product that might help you to have on hand. I'll link to that below as well. And then the last two things, once you're done having the drinks that you'd want for the day, I recommend coating your gut, because your gut is where your immune system is. So all of your reactions from your head to your toe can come from just how your gut is reacting to what you're consuming. So I use a product called Ivy Guard. This is really helpful if you have cramping. This can calm things down quite a bit. It's just peppermint, but the way that it's delivered to your gut is really effective. And then also L-glutamine powder. You can do it in powder or you can do it in capsules, but this is really great for just soothing the whole lining of your gut as well. And this is great even if you're having like a stomach bug or something. This will really calm things down and just put them back to where they should be. I know that's a lot of information, but hopefully you find some of it helpful. Like I said, I don't take all of these at once, but when I do, it does really help me. If you are interested because you are someone who struggles with wine, you want to talk to me about whether or not Scout and Cellar wine might be the right wine for you, I'm happy to help. And if you're concerned about buying a whole bottle, I get it, because I know that when I react to wine, I'm afraid to try it again or to spend money on it. So what we have is we have these like 8 packs. This is a 4-pack, obviously, but of rosé. It's our clean crafted wine as well. And you can just have one of these for $6, which will help you test to make sure, does the clean crafted wine feel different to you? Do you still get that migraine or the facial flushing or whatever? So contact me, because you can't buy these individually on my website, but I would be happy to work with you to see if you can get one of these and see how your body reacts on a much smaller level. So thank you so much. Best of luck, and hopefully in the future for you, there's a cheers.